Good morning, everyone. Peter Liciaga here for Pete's Podcast number 7. And this is day number 16,004 on my way to my 100th birthday. So welcome. Good morning. I just finished doing my run, my 2-mile run. Today was actually more of a crawl than a run because my body is sore from all that jiu-jitsu training I've been doing this week. I've been doing 5 to 6 days a week of jiu-jitsu. In the last couple of days, because we had our 4th of July, on 4th of July, I did 15 rounds of jiu-jitsu. And it's tough, and my body is sore. And I trained yesterday, and I trained today. I will train later on today, but the walk this morning, the run this morning was more of a crawl, but I got up and got out, got it done. And so I'm excited about that. So I have a story here that I want to read to you guys, story time with Master Liciaga, and see if you can find the lessons in this. And I'll share my lessons at the end of the story. Okay, so let me get to the story. It's a great story with many lessons. One morning, while the family gathered at the breakfast table, my grandfather turned to my dad, who was just entering the 6th grade, and said, "Johnny, it's time you quit school and go to work on the farm to help support the family." Johnny was born the youngest of a family of 5 children in Alabama. His father was a farmer and a part-time police officer. Around the age of 11, each male child was expected to stop school and help support the family. Tears streamed down my father's face and into his cereal bowl. "Daddy," he begged, "if you will just let me stay in school, I will never cost you another cent. I'll earn my keep. I'll pay for my books, my clothes, and my food. Please, please, Daddy, just let me stay in school." My grandfather thoughtfully replied, "Okay, Johnny, let's see if you can do that. But if you can't, you will have to work on the farm full time." The odds of earning a living at 11 years of age seemed very long. Afternoons and weekends, he washed cars, mowed lawns, danced on street corners, and shined shoes. While telling me this story, my dad proudly displayed the simple wooden shoebox he had made to support the Southern gentleman's shoes while he shined them. My father's intent in telling me this story was to make the point that in spite of his dire poverty, he was always clean and well-groomed. He said, "Although I had only enough money for 2 outfits at the time, I could always be clean. I bought soap for my clothes and myself, and a needle and thread for the clothing repairs and polish for my shoes. When one outfit was being washed and repaired, I wore the other." It probably never occurred to him that the main impression he left with me, his only child, was the value he placed on education. I saw photos of him. He was a cute little boy with curly jet black hair who earned his way in an adult world. While other children his age were playing after-school sports, my dad graduated from high school, danced professionally, worked for a national manufacturing company as a salesman, and learned to fly small planes during the Second World War. He used his education and his skills as a street corner dancer and a shoeshine boy. Finally, as a risk taker, he not only became a pilot, but also the owner of an airport. For 30 years, my dad's story inspired students to ask for what they want, take risks, value cleanliness, and to complete their education. This was an awesome awesome story on lessons that you can learn in life and lessons you can learn from those that came before you, from your dad, from your parents, from your mom, grandparents, great-grandparents, lessons you can learn just from their lives. And that's what's awesome about, I always loved history. I've always loved, reading about people and the choices that they made, their experiences. And I always found lessons that I would apply to my own life. So the question is this: what lessons can you learn from this story? And I'm going to share 3 lessons that I took away from this that I will definitely apply to my own life. And if they're not already applied, and if they are being applied, I will then definitely be more conscious of them and take them to another level. Lesson number 1, and I have it here in my Get It Done segment. Okay, get it done. Lesson number 1, have the willingness to take risks and be fearless in your risk taking. Now, today I happen to wear this shirt here that I got. I actually got this at Walmart. It says fear, but on the bottom, it's a horrible English on the bottom. It says fear is for others. It's horrible English, but I like it. It's got the picture of Bruce Lee there. And so I like because it said fear. And my idea behind that, it's, people, fear is not for me. I will embrace my fears and overcome my fears. But the fear of taking risks, the fear of doing something that you have no idea how it's going to turn out. You don't know whether you're going to be good at it. Matter of fact, you're not going to be good at it because you've never done it before. And you don't know how it's going to turn out. It can be very scary. But here, the dad tells the daughter to, the lessons that he shares is just be fearless, to go out there and take risks. At least that's the lesson she took from him sharing the story, because, knowing his life, he took risks. He decided to stay in school, saw the value of education at such a young age, and went against what the family was doing. Everyone else before him, he was the youngest in his family amongst his siblings, and he chose to go against what everyone else was doing. Took the risk, worked hard, had the discipline to make things happen, and stayed in school. I could only imagine working, earning the money, staying in school, working hard, studying, passing. And so he took that risk, and it definitely paid off, and definitely was not easy. But he made that choice, took the risk, was fearless, learned the lessons, applied the lessons to his life, and kept growing, building, growing and building, learning along the way. So take risks. That was my lesson number 1. I take risks. I left New York at a young age. I grew up in the streets. Some of you might know my story. I share that on my YouTube channel. And I decided to leave New York, not knowing what was in front of me. I knew I had to get out. I only had 2 choices growing up in New York City. And my situation was 2 choices, either to go to prison or to get killed and die in the streets. And that was my mindset at the time when I chose to leave New York City. I left New York City. I just turned 17 years old. I had to get out of New York City, and I went to Florida. Never left New York. Thought the whole world was projects. Thought the whole world was streets and gangs, because I had never really left New York City. And when I left New York, I just chose to leave because, again, I thought if I stayed, I was either going to get killed or end up in prison. And my brother was already on the streets, not doing great at all, and I did not want that for me. And I created that third option, get out. And I got out, took the risk, left, and never looked back unless to learn the lessons so I could share the lessons. But I took the risk, learned the lesson, and never regretted it. Here I am now as a martial arts instructor, an educator, speaking and teaching and sharing the knowledge. It's awesome. Okay, so lesson number 1, take risks. And lesson number 2 that I got from the story that jumped out on me was, the importance of having self-respect. respecting yourself and respecting others, respecting yourself enough to stay healthy, to take care of your body, to stay clean, to be presentable for others, to show you self-respect, but at the same time to respect others by presenting yourself as someone that can be trusted, that has discipline, that has the discipline to get things done. Took me a long time to bring myself to that place where when I shake your hand, I've done all that I can to present to you someone that's willing to do all that he can to help you, to serve you, and to share with you his knowledge, his wisdom that he's learned, and also to learn from you, to be humble enough to see what you've learned in your life so that I can apply it to my own life, which brings me to number 3 is be humble. Be humble and always, always seek knowledge, seek understanding, seek wisdom. Take that knowledge, take that understanding, take that wisdom and share it with others. Be humble enough to know that you don't know everything and that if you think you do, you're fooling yourself. So if I think I know everything, I'm fooling myself and I'm being very prideful. Now, it does take a certain level of ego and belief in yourself and confidence to believe that you can overcome challenges. But humility is so important. Be humble. Know that you can learn from everyone and you can learn from every situation. There's not one person in this world that I cannot learn from. There's not one experience in this world that I cannot learn from. So I need to be humble. And in every situation, every person that I meet, I have to ask myself, what can I learn from this person? What can I learn from this experience? And so I strive to be humble and learn the lessons and then share the lessons. Share the knowledge, pass it on. And so that's what I got from that story. What did you get from the story? What were some of the lessons that jumped out on you? Please share with me. And I want to share with you something. And being a martial artist, I'm committed to martial art training and being a martial artist, being a warrior. I believe that warrior spirit got me out of the streets of New York. And I really, really love the idea of getting on the mats, training hard like a warrior, and living my life like a warrior, like a soldier, someone that's prepared for a battle, for a challenge, and is ready to go into battle, go into the challenge. And as a martial artist, I teach full time. I teach, probably about 30 classes or more a week. And we've got a lot of students that come through our school at Untitled Karate Center. So I teach and I'm also a student. I train every day as a student. So where I train as a student as far as jiu-jitsu, I train every day. There are other fellow students that I meet. And so I have a suggestion for those of you that are training in martial arts. This is my tip. Seek others that can help you grow, that can be a mentor to you, that you can watch what they do more so than what they say. Watch what they do and learn from that. And if you find someone that is living a life, that's living the life, they've committed themselves to discipline and they are getting at it every day, and you see that in their lives, my recommendation is to reach out to them and to maybe ask them, maybe to even go as far as to ask them to mentor you, or at least to watch what you do and give their suggestions, give their input, to maybe even critique you. It's so important to have someone else watch you because it's easy for us to really lie to ourselves, say that, hey, we're great, we're doing awesome. But if you have someone else watching you, following you, and you give them the permission to share their thoughts with you, that is so valuable to your growth, to my growth. I cannot tell you how valuable it is for me to know there are people in my life that watch what I do, and there are some people that are fearless at letting me know that what I said maybe was, not the best thing to say, or the best way to say it, or maybe something that I'm doing is not the best thing to do, or that what I'm doing is maybe not healthy, or I could do it this way. So that's important for me, for my growth, because again, I don't want to be prideful to think that I know it all, that just because I've spent X amount of years training as a martial artist, that I know it all, that I have this advanced belt and I'm a teacher and I teach all these students, that I know it all, that no one can teach me anything. That's the last place I want to be, the last kind of person that I want to be. I want to know that, hey, I'm a student, and I'm a student first, and as I learn as a student, I'll share that. But more importantly, I need to show that in my own life. So some people in my life will see that I'm not doing what I ought to do. They'll confront me with it and share that with me. And so I appreciate that. That helps. So I recommend you guys, as my martial arts tip, to make sure you get with someone, connect with someone, and have them help you out, to help you to be that martial artist you want to be. Are you training the way you ought to be training? Are you doing the physical training? Are you doing the technical training? What does your technique look like? How about this? How about you videotaping you doing a form or a kick, or a technique or an exercise, sending that video to that mentor, sending it to me. I'd be more than happy, and several of you have done this already. You've videotaped yourself. Say, hey, check out this form, or check out my kick, and what do you think? How does it look? Is it getting better? Any suggestions? Do that. It takes a minute, and I'm more than happy to do that. And there are many people out there that you'd be very surprised. On Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, you could private message them. And you can say, hey, look, I appreciate the work that you're doing. I have great respect for you. And I'm working on this technique. And I would love to hear your thoughts on how I can improve this technique. And you send that as a private message, PM then. And then let them take their time, on their own time, to share their thoughts. And you'll be very surprised on how many of them would respond to you. Even if just one out of 100 responds to you, people that you admire, people that you've been watching, following, and they've shown through their sharing of their lives on social platforms, and they're doing it in a sincere way. They share their lives, and you're impressed by their discipline, by their hard work, and then you reach out to them with a private message asking them to share their thoughts on your work. You'd be surprised how many of them would actually reach out to you and share their knowledge. It's awesome, incredible, and you'd be very surprised. So I recommend you guys do that. It's my tip. You could do it with me, and find me all the platforms, private message me. You can even email me. I had someone email me yesterday their video of them doing exercises and ask, hey, how do I look? Anything else I could do that can improve on this? I just send them a quick, hey, you know what? Your push-ups look like your head is all the way down. You're going to stress your neck that way. So I was giving some tips on how to position his head when he does that push-up that he was doing within that video that he had sent to me. So you can do that as well. Okay, so a couple of questions I want to ask you before we wrap this up. I actually have a couple of training sessions that I'll be doing today before I head off to DKC to teach martial arts. I also have some filming to do today, so I have a lot of things going on today. So excited for the day. So I need to actually wrap this up. I'm actually preparing for our summer camp at the Outer Karate Center next week. Very excited about that. So I have the different drills that I'll be doing. I'll be doing crafts and banners that we're going to be designing. I'm talking about leadership, talking about self-defense, a lot of fun things. We have about 16 kids coming to the camp, and I'll be working with them from 7 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So next week is going to be an awesome awesome week, and an opportunity for me to demonstrate my discipline next week, because I will still be maintaining. My goal is to maintain my schedule, to get up still 4:30 in the morning, get my work done, get focused, and get to the to Donato Karate Center where the camp's going to be. Get there by 6:30, get everything set up, and then the kids start coming in around 7 o'clock, and then me just driving them all the way through till 4 o'clock. And then once that's done, I come home, I get refreshed, get a snack, and go to jiu-jitsu, train jiu-jitsu. So my goal is to, instead of training jiu-jitsu in the noontime, I'm going to train jiu-jitsu in the evening every day. And of course, finish off my weekend training hard and going up to up north. I'm going to take a road trip up north to the Bronx, and I'm going to train at a jiu-jitsu school in the Bronx. That's going to be my treat, to go on Saturday to train at the Bronx Jiu-Jitsu School and to train and get the T-shirt. I want to get the T-shirt from that school. So it says Bronx Jiu-Jitsu, and then roll on the mats and get sweaty, get beaten up in the Bronx in that T-shirt. So that's going to be my treat. Okay, and also Friday night, I have a couple of my buddies that are going to be fighting, doing their grappling in Philadelphia. So two of my buddies, John Battle and also Pete Lingazzo, they both will be battling it out next Friday. Pretty awesome. And so next Friday, here's the big challenge for me: getting my podcast out in the course of all this madness. So I know I'll get it done. It's going to be tough, but it's going to be great. And next Sunday, I'll be sitting, relaxing, and sore, beaten up, but I'll be looking back on an awesome week and looking back how I got it done. It's going to be awesome. So that's going to be next week. And I'll be getting a new T-shirt out. Many of you guys purchased that Black Belt Strong T-shirt. Awesome. I've been seeing you guys wearing it. Some of you guys have been posting it on the social platforms, taking a picture of it. That's awesome. I got another T-shirt coming out that I'll share over the next couple of weeks. And so you guys will be looking out for that. All right, so let me go ahead and finish off, wrap this up with a couple of questions to you guys. Let me ask you guys a couple of questions. In what way are you guys being fearless and taking risks these days? What are you doing these days to stretch yourself? Okay, being fearless. Question number two, are you demonstrating humility by learning from others and learning from every experience? Yes or no? Are you doing it? And expound on that. What lessons have you learned? And are you implementing those lessons in your life? And if you are, how so? How are you implementing lessons that you've learned from others or from your experiences? How are you implementing them, executing them in your life? Let me know. I'd love to hear that. Good. Are you sharing this? Are you sharing this with others? And how are you sharing this with others? Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Are you sharing this? Okay. Last question is, do you have someone in your life that's mentoring you? If so, let me know who that is. And if it's someone who doesn't mind you tagging them, let me know. Tag them. Share these answers with me. You can do a private message on Instagram or on Facebook. Or you can just do it in the comments somewhere on my Facebook or my Instagram account. Okay, and so I also like to always wrap this up that if you have anyone or anything going on in your community, people that are doing work in the community, small businesses that are doing work in your community, that are just out there making a difference in your community, I want to hear about them. Share the work that's going on in your community. Let me know who's doing what, and I'd love to hear about it because I love hearing the work that's going on in our communities, the small businesses that are just doing things that are making a difference in their community through education, through maybe rescuing animals, running marathons, doing 5Ks, raising money for whatever. I'd love to hear about it. I also love to hear about those of you that are training in martial arts, found a great school. Where are you training? Who's the instructor? What do you love most about that? Share where you're training martial arts. If you're not training martial arts, I highly recommend you train martial arts. Get in an environment that's designed on purpose to teach you discipline and to get black belt strong. So I highly recommend that. Find a good teacher and let me know that you're doing that. Share that with me. Also, let me know how you are staying fit and if you are sharing this with others. Sharing this in a way that others can see. You inspire others with your life, with how you are getting fit and staying healthy, your exercise, your martial arts, your healthy eating habits, the gyms that you go to, your favorite exercises, maybe even sharing a video of you training, your workouts. Share that with others. Inspire them. Let them see you living that life. And it's not so much what we say, it's more of what we do. And we have an opportunity here, and I've seen it, and just with me sharing my life through videos and through images, other people being inspired. And if I can just touch one life, that's awesome. And I've been fortunate enough to know that I've touched many lives, same as many of you have touched my life. And I know there are people in the world that have touched my life that I'm not too sure if they know how they affected me. And there are people that have touched my life that have passed on. And I remember that. I know that. So I know I make a difference in people's lives. And sharing the work that I do makes a difference. So please share the work that you're doing so that you can inspire others to do the same. Okay? And then, of course, let me know how I can help. What can I do to help you guys out? Share that with me. You can private message me. You can email me at peter@peterliciaga.com. Find me on the internet. Find the work that I'm doing. Connect with me. And I would love to hear from you guys there. I appreciate you guys for spending the time with me. I appreciate you sharing with me. Those of you that have connected with me, thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. It does feed my ego, I'll admit that. It just gives me this sense of value and self-worth, and it helps my self-esteem. And it encourages me to continue doing the work that I'm doing, not only on improving who I am as a person, but as a husband, as a father, as a teacher, as someone that's an active part in the community. Thank you so much, guys, for reaching out to me and sharing with me and liking the stuff and sharing your positive comments. I do appreciate that. Thank you for some of you that have critiqued some of the work that I've done. It's had me stop and pause and check my ego so that I can humble myself and learn the lesson. And so I appreciate you guys doing that. Love you guys for doing that. Continue the love, continue the sharing. And until next time, guys, you have a great day. Take care.